Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hunesh Suhail and I am from Section D and roll number is I192043. I have my group mate Anas with me who will introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Anas and I am from Section D. My roll number is 99 2008 and I am here along with my friend Hunas El Mirza to present my final year project. So let's get started.
First, I will show you the process of installation. I've installed the compiler or Prolog from their website. Now it is installing. Alright, now installation process is finished. So first of all, I will show you my example that I will be running. So here is actually my example, which have some facts of studies and the the students and course codes. The teachers facts have names of professor with their course code, and we have predicate of process professor with two parameters in which check if X is the professor of student Y. So we will be running this example. First, I will be consulting it, and now let's run the predicate. For example, I pass Professor Juniper will be teaching author, and it comes out true because it is a fact. As you can see that Juniper teaches author. Now in the case of false, if we check Juniper teaches Jack, it comes out false. Now I will ask Anas Hamid to run his example. Yes, Anas, please.
Okay, so Hunas, first of all, I will show my installation process. I have downloaded this program from this link as www.swi.prolog.org. So as I have already downloaded, so I will skip the part of download and directly. So I will show the example from where I have taken this example. I have taken this example from this link. Here, here we have some of the facts and a rule. The facts are basically some of the foods that burger is a food, pizza is a food, sandwich is a lunch, and pizza is a lunch. And we have a rule that every food is a meal or anything is a meal if it is a food. So I have copied this code here, and I will run this code in my environment. So first of all, I will consult the code so that it will load the data here. Now I will check for whether pizza is a meal or not. So Prolog should return true. Yes, so pizza is a meal. So now I will, for checking whether some fall condition, I will check whether uh, something. I just randomly type and check. So there the prologue return false. Since this is not a food and I also have not made any facts for it, so this function will return false. Now over to you, Nat.
So now we will move to step number 3, which is knowledge base step, that we will show the process of preparing the knowledge base. So first I will go into Excel file which was provided with the project. As you can see in the list of courses tab, I have prepared a function of concatenate that concatenates the strings of names and other things with them according to the according to the knowledge base facts. So first I have compiled the emails, as you can see right here, of all the instructors. Then for the fact about course, I have used the data. I have used the course title and the course code. I've concatenated both of them for the course section. I have used course code and section from here. For the teacher's fact, I have used the email that was generated right here and combined it with the section to prepare the teacher's facts. And now I have prepared the student knowledge base, which I have prepared by the roll number and the name. And now I have prepared the section with the roll number and the section. For the next tab, instructor detail, I have prepared the email with the instructor name. I have concatenated both of them. And in the next tab of classroom, I have concatenated the room number with the capacities. For the exam data, I have used another file, notepad file, with the day, and I have used times here, course codes here, and room number here. For each of the course that was taken as exam, I have prepared it like this with a room number here, course codes here, and with the time, start time, end time, and day. I've copied all of them to one file. You can see right here the student as a first fact, all of student with the instructor, course, course section, teacher's fact, capacity fact, and last one is exam time fact. So now Anas will tell us about how he prepared the knowledge base, and he will run his part of odd queries.
Okay, Vinay. So now I will run my queries. First of all, I will show you how I made my knowledge base. As you already mentioned, we applied the formula. So here we already have made those facts from the file given in the Excel file. So here we have a list of all the facts that were present in there. So if I go to the top to show you which of the facts were there. So right at the start, I have the facts. Right at the start, I have the fact for a student and his name with a roll number and his name. So, and the second fact was for section, and the third fact was for core section. So, if I go to the bottom of the document for other facts, another fact was for the teacher and a section. So this fact basically means that the teacher with the email adnan.tariq@nu.edu.tk teaches section A. Similarly for Hassan Mustafa and all the other teachers. So this fact basically gives the capacity of each room. So this fact means that C301 has a capacity of 44. So a maximum 44 student can be sit in that room. Another fact is of exam time. So this fact will tell us that when the exam, what is the day for the exam, what is the time for the exam, and of which course the exam in, and in which room the exam is held in. So So now I will start my queries part for explaining my queries. So I have, as Usman mentioned, that I have odd number of queries. So I will start with um, introducing my old queries. So in the first query, what we are supposed to do, if I show you the screen here. So in that query, we are supposed to find so here we have to check for whether a given student have two exam in one day or not. So for checking purpose, what we have done here is, so basically here is the rule. I take this rule from student. I find the roll number of the student, roll number one, through which we have checked the section. Then I get the course codes. So from there I get dates. So I check for date whether they are equal or not. So if they are equal, so we print yes on the screen. So first, now I will run this on here. So first of all, can start the program knowledge base. So if I show this command basically clear the screen, so I will clear the screen and run my query number, check for query number one. So as my name is Anas Hamid and I have two exams in one day, so this query should return true as a result. So I will run query one against my own name Anas Hamid. So let's get, so this query return true since I have two exams in one day. Now let us check for another result. So query 1 and let us type Harry. Since Harry is not a student and he didn't have any exam, so this query should return false. So no and false. So moving towards the next query, I have query third, in which what we are supposed to do is whether two courses with given course name have the exam at the same time. So for this query, what I have done is so from two courses, I find the course's name, I find the course's code. So I check for a date, uh, start time, end time through these courses, and then I check for whether these values are equal or not. So if these values are equal, the Prolog will return yes. So now let's run this query. So so I run this query with the data structures, and so if I run this query with data structure and discrete structure, so this query should return true. So now I will explain why this query is true. Since we have checked that whether data structure and discrete structure have exam on the same day or not. So if I move towards the exam section, so here we have CS201 and CS208. So both have one and time, same time. So they have exam on the same day and time. That's why the query returns true. Now I will move towards the false statement for this query. So I will check for, so I will check here, right here. So data structure and linear algebra. Data structure and linear algebra doesn't have exam on the same day, so this query should return false. So here we have false in the result. Now we move toward the query 5. So what was the query 5? If we go to the document again, so whether the exam in the given room can be switched with another given room with having same capacity. So basically in this query we are supposed to find whether the exam in a given room can be switched with another given room having the same capacity. So what we have done here is through the capacity we find the room 1 and room through the room 1 and room 2 we have find the capacity C1 and C2. Then we have check whether the capacity was equal or not. Then we check exam time, find the exam time. So we check for this query whether the capacity has is equal. If the capacity is equal, so this prolog should return true. So now let's just run this query. If I run query 5, so I first run for the true case. So here we have 301 in the room 1, C302 in the room 2 position, and the day was 1 and the time was 9 a.m. So if I press enter, it return true. So if I go to the facts again, so here we have 301 and 302. Both have the same capacity. So this exam can be switched from this room to this room. So now I will explain the false part of this query. So I will change the room number 2 to 308 and press enter. So this query return false. Now if I move to the facts again, so if I check there, the capacity of room 1 is 44 and the capacity of room number 308 is 34. So they didn't match. That's why the prologue answer no. Now on the next query I have is query number 7, which is, if I go to the document again, so whether two student name have a common section of a given course name. So here we are forced to check for whether two students are class fellow in a given course. So if I show what I have written this query, so let's move to query number 7, and if I zoom in screen my, so here what I have done is student name. There are two student name and a course name. So I have found the roll number of students. So I check for whether they have same section and the core section find through the course name is also matching with this section. So through this, I found that whether two students are class fellows or not. So let's let's just run this query on the environment so that we could have better idea. If I consult my, since already I have consulted the document, so no need for that. So here for query number 7, I have taken two names, Anas Hamid, my own name, and Hunaiswal Mirza, my friend name, and my group mate name. And the course I have taken is linear algebra. And if I press enter, this query should return true. Since Anas and both Hunaid are class fellows, we are both class fellows in section D. To prove the false part of this query, I run same query for a different person with different section. So, so here I have taken Anas Hamid and Talha, and the course is linear algebra. So if I press enter, it should return false. Now I have reached the end. So let me clear the screen so that I clear the screen again. So now the next query for me is query number 9. So in which I have to test for whether a given instructor name teaches two different sections of the same course. So in this query, I have to check for whether a given instructor teaches two different section or not. So I have written this query. So in the given variable, I have instructor name. Then through instructor name, I find the email of the instructor and I find two sections from there. So I from these two sections, I find the course code for these two sections, and then I check for whether section 1 is not equal to section 2. Basically, what I have done here is I check for section 1 and section 2. So if there are two different sections, then the prologue should answer true as a result. So let's just run this problem on the environment. So I guess I need to consult for it again. So here I will clear the screen once more time. So I check this query for Ma'am Amna Iram. So if as I know that Ma'am Amna Iram is teaching three sections, so this query should return true. So if I can show the result, so here I have gotten a true. And similarly, if I check the same result for Ma'am Shafaq Riaz, so this query should return false because Ma'am Shafaq Riaz is teaching only one section. Now, as I have already explained all of my queries, so here some of the important I will show some of the important command that we have used during this process of writing queries. So the first command that we use most is trace. Trace dot. So this basically what this done is it help us in debugging the query and tell us what the Prolog has done during this calls in the determination of these rules. So if I press enter, so this will tell me that first it will call this, then through this it got the instructor email ID. So here it is failing because Ma'am Shafaq Riaz is not teaching. So here the answer is false. So now I will ask Hunasir Mirza to present his even number of queries. So
Thank you, Anas. Now I will show my even number of queries. Second query is whether the given instructor name is teaching any of sections of given course name. We have passed argument as instructor name and course name. From instructor name we can find email and we can find course code and course name. Course code helps us to find the section, and from the section 2 we'll find another email and we'll check that whether these two sections are equivalent, which will help us to find the result of this query. We will run the query in the compiler or the environment. So what I've given here is a name of Ma'am Amna Iram and course name as discrete structures, which will return as true. In a false case, I will try to give another name of Sir Umair Arshad, who is a lab instructor, and I've given course name again as discrete structures, which will which should return as false, and we have the right answer. Now we will move to query number 4, whether two courses with given course name have exam at same time in same room. Anas had query number 3, which was to find the result of the query that two courses with given course name have exam at same time, but we have extra condition over here that we should have same room. So I will explain the query first here. That is room collision. We have two course names, and from the course names we can find course codes. Course codes can be used in exam time, and we have find the room IDs, start time, end time, and we will compare start time, end time, and room IDs. So I will run it here in the compiler. Check room. What I have given here is room ID C301 with day 1 and start time 9 a.m., which returns us true because we can see that. So that was check room, and here we can see room collision, marketing management, and discrete structures. We should return as true because it was taken at the same time. For the false condition, we'll try data structures and discrete structures, which will return a false. You can see from the above that data structures and discrete structures are same time. The query was to check whether the two given course names have examined at same time in the same room. As data and discrete structures have exam at same time but not in the same room, so it returns a false. But marketing management and discrete structures have exam at same time and in the same room as well, so it returns true. We will turn to next query, that is query number 6, whether the given room is being used as an exam room in the date sheet on the given day. We have check room available. We simply have three parameters: room ID, date, and start time, and we check the fact against it by passing the relevant information in it, and we can have a valid answer in that case. We have check room for 301. We should get true, yes, because what is says that whether the given room is being used as exam room. We can see that 301 is being used as exam room. The room number 306 is not present over here, so we will use it as a false case to check if the query is right or not. We can see that if we pass C306, we get a false room, so this room was not being used as an exam room. Query number 8. Whether a given name belongs to two different roll numbers. As we all know that all the students have unique roll numbers, so we should get false in this case until we change some data in the knowledge base. Belong to duplicate roll numbers. We pass student name. From student name we find two roll numbers, but we know that both roll number will be equal, so it should return false. Here I'm passing my name and I should return false because I have a unique roll number, that is I192043, and this roll number is not occupied by any other student in the university. At last we have query number 10, whether a given instructor name teaches two different courses. So we have defined a rule here, teaches two courses, given information is instructor name. We find the email. From the email we have find two sections and compare two sections whether they are equal or not, and then we have find the course section, the course. C1 and C2 are the core scores. So we compare them, and again it should return false in most of the cases. And let me clear it to you by running an example here. So first passing Sir Umar Arshad, the lab instructor. Here we get false because he does not teaches any course. He is only taking a lab. And one case that I will pass is Sir Shams Farooq names, who teaches two courses. So urge you to return true. I can prove it over here. We can see that Sir Shams Farooq teaches DLD, and he also teaches coal. So we have an instructor name who teaches two different courses. So that was all us from here, from our group mates, and thank you very much.